The views expressed on this program belong to writer and host Travis Cobb. Not LSU, not the Manship School, not Tiger TV. Just this guy pointing at you. So come at him, lawyers. This is The Update.
Hi there and welcome to The Update. I'm Travis Cobb, but what's really important is today is my 22nd birthday. That's the part where I'd play 22 by T-Swizzle, but I don't want to be really sued. Why is he wearing a Mardi Gras bead? It's a throwback Thursday to my 21st birthday. But Travis, it's Monday. Yeah, and it's my birthday, so I declare it Thursday. Anyway, that happened around Mardi Gras, and that's all people tell me happened. Speaking of vodka, we start today in Russia because that's the center of the world right now, as the most political sporting event, the Olympics, has kicked off. However, President Obama didn't make the trip up to Russia. Now, why is that? Former Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano.
I think he sent a delegation that represents the broad values of the United States. We're here to support our team. We're here to represent our country, and we're proud to be here.
Broad values, kind of poking a bit at the don't teach gay to children law that exists in Russia. Meanwhile, in America, the first openly gay NFL prospect came out yesterday. Big props to you, Michael Sam. General managers, that's a brave player you're looking at there. Hopefully one day it won't need to be courageous for people to be who they are, but Sam is taking a big step in making that happen for others. Anyway, back to Russia.
I think our President Obama, has been very clear over time about the United States and our position with respect to human values and human rights and freedom of expression and tolerance and diversity. These are things we hold dear in the United States, and this is an area where we have some disagreements with Russia.
Of course, the United States has some disagreements with itself over the gay rights issue. A majority of states have legislation that prevents same-sex couples from getting married. And here comes a big shift in that in 3, 2, 1.
On Monday, I will issue a new policy memorandum that will, for the first time in history, formally instruct all Justice Department employees to give lawful same-sex marriages full and equal recognition to the greatest extent possible under the law.
For the first time in history. I mean, unless your history happens to go outside the United States, where tolerance for gay and lesbian people has been, shall we say, more there. And look, they're not collapsing any faster than the rest of the world is.
And I pledge to you tonight that we will never stop working to ensure that equality under the law is protected by the law.
Hold on a second. This equality thing sounds good on paper, but let's see just what Holder means with such a radical word.
Already, my colleagues and I have announced the extension of significant benefits to Americans in same-sex marriages, including health insurance and other key benefits for federal employees and their families. A uniform policy ensuring that all same-sex married couples are recognized for federal tax purposes, and a policy dictating that for purposes of immigration law, same-sex and opposite-sex marriages are treated exactly the same.
Did you catch that? There are two things that are certain under an Obama administration order: healthcare and taxes. And by giving the benefits that we opposite-sex marriage havers, otherwise known as straight people, this administration is once again proving that equality is unequally making things fair for everyone. It's not up to the federal government to equally treat its citizens. That's up to the states and the luck of the draw and where you were born. Sort of like if you were gay and born in Russia. Coming up after the break, a permanent presidential possibility predicts polling changes for Republicans. Missing the mark is next.
So I think really it is still an open question, and the people should weigh in on this through the representatives. I think also it might be noted that the history of violence at post offices has not been from citizens coming into the post office, but has been committed by postal employees.
Welcome back. Who you just heard there was Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, otherwise known as son of Ron Paul 2012, and also known now as the subject of today's Missing the Mark. Now, many people are speculating that Rand Paul could soon be Rand Paul 2016. But the senator from Kentucky has a much different view of 2016 and the future if things don't change.
Texas will be a Democrat state within 10 years if you don't change. That means we evolve.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I hail from the Lone Star State. And Rand Paul is absolutely 100% right about the fact that Texas could be a Democratic state within 10 years, maybe even sooner, especially if the word evolve is still a dirty word exclusively for godless heathen scientists. What does he see as the solution?
Doesn't mean we give up on what we believe in, but it means we have to be a more welcoming party.
And just who does the senator want to invite to the party for the new grand old party?
We have to welcome people of all races. We need to welcome people of all classes, business class, working class. We need to have people with ties and without ties, with tattoos and without tattoos, with earrings, without earrings. We need a more diverse culture. We need a more diverse party. We need a party that looks like America.
You may have seen that not once was different sexes or different sexual orientation a part of the more diverse party, and that's a strategic move, because you got to lock up that tattoo, no tattoo voting bloc. If you got all those voters, that combination would win every election, 100% every time, especially since tattoos, or lack thereof, are completely a political issue. Paul did talk a bit about gender discrimination, though, with the most current of up-to-date events.
Anybody who wants to take money from Bill Clinton or have a fundraiser has a lot of explaining to do. In fact, I think they should give the money back. If they want to take a position on women's rights, by all means do, but you can't do it and take it from a guy who is using his position of authority to take advantage of young women in the workplace.
Of course you can. In fact, one of the rights that we all have in this place known as America is to take money from people that don't have the exact same ideology on everything or don't have the utmost moral character. It's Politics 101. Anyway, Senator Paul, you're right. Texas could lean blue very soon if the Republican Party doesn't get more voters. But to get more voters, it doesn't have to just be more welcoming. It'll actually have to make policies that welcome people, for real. Otherwise, the Welcome Party is nothing more than a failed political maneuver, and that's missing the mark. When we come back, Vice President Joe Biden says something that didn't exactly come out right. Wait, that's entirely predictable. More of the update after the break.
If I blindfolded someone and took him at 2 o'clock in the morning into the airport in Hong Kong and said, "Where do you think you are?" They said, "This must be America. It's a modern airport." If I took him blindfolded and took you to the LaGuardia Airport in New York, you must think I must be in some third world country. No, I'm not joking.
Welcome back to the show. Oh, Joe, there he goes again, blindfolding people. For some reason, New Yorkers didn't take too kindly to having their airport called a third world country.
Respect the vice president, but I think his comments were inappropriate. LaGuardia obviously needs an upgrade, but that being said, the airport manages an extraordinary amount of traffic, and the people who work there make it work under very difficult circumstances. And so, as a proud New Yorker, I didn't like that comment, and I think it was not the right way to talk about it.
Mayor of New York Bill de Blasio, not the guy with the giant soda laws, makes a good point. There is a more tactful way for the vice president to go about suggesting an airport is a disease-ridden, overcrowded slime hole. But hey, at least it stays open, unlike this bridge in Jersey I know. If I don't show up next week, it means someone in Jersey wasn't happy with that one. You heard it here first. Anyway, Biden's got to watch what he says. More importantly, how he says it.
There may be reasons I don't run, but there's no obvious reason for me why I think I should not run.
Can I have a timetable?
Probably realistically, a year this summer.
Setting a phone alarm to summer of 2015, and now I can't wait. I have to know if more Biden debates are going to be a thing.
I think the future for this country, I know people think I'm too optimistic, but it is incredible. There's so much just within our grasp. Doesn't mean I'm the only guy that can do it, but if no one else I think can, and I think I can, then I'd run. If I don't, I won't.
He's got to sew up things with New York first if he wants to run, or fly, I guess, for president. Otherwise, he'll just have his old reliable mode of transportation.
It's hard to imagine what life would be along the corridor without Amtrak.
I kind of wouldn't want to see Biden be anything other than vice president. He just makes State of the Unions watchable. That's all I have for you today. For more, you can check out the new website at tigertv.tv or follow on Twitter at TTVUpdate or at TravisCobb5. Anyway, I've got to rush this exit so I can get out of here and party like I'm 22, whatever that means. Have fun out there. Until next week, go update yourself.